Crocodiles are one of the most feared predators of the waterways. They're incredibly powerful and they've been around for a very long time. But just how long exactly? Well, today we're going to find out as we take a look at some crocodile fossils that are 130 million years old. Hi, it's me, and welcome to Paleologic. Today we're talking about crocodiles, and specifically, some new discoveries about their ancient relatives that lived during the Cretaceous period. The specimens we'll be looking at today are of a type of ancient crocodile known as a dinosaur. And these specimens are some of the best preserved Cretaceous dinosaurs ever found in North America. The fossil record of dinosaurs is primarily found in two places, either in the deserts of the southwest United States or in the coastal areas of the eastern U.S. That is because during the Cretaceous period, the interior of the continent was mostly desert, while the east coast had a tropical climate similar to the Florida of today, so it makes sense why we would find these fossils there. Now, we already knew quite a bit about these ancient crocodiles because prior to this recent discovery, we had found many of their relatives in the southeastern United States before. But these particular fossils are from a much older time period than any others we've discovered before. These fossils were found in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, and they date back to about 130 million years ago, which is about 20 million years older than the other fossils we found in the area. Not only are these some of the oldest Cretaceous fossils in the area, but they're also some of the best preserved. Prior to this discovery, the oldest crocodilian fossils we'd found in North America were from the early Ice Cretaceous, which means that for a huge chunk of the Cretaceous period, we have very little evidence of what was going on in the crocodilian world. Now with these new fossils, we can get a glimpse into the lives of these ancient crocodiles. In fact, we can learn so much from these fossils that it might help us determine how modern crocodiles evolved. One of the things that makes these fossils so special is that they come from a time when crocodiles were still mostly in their larval stage of development. This means that not only do we have a great example of the adult form of these crocodiles, but we also have a great example of what their life looked like when they were younger. When you think of a crocodile, you probably imagine a massive predator with incredibly strong jaws and sharp teeth. However, the crocodiles that lived 130 million years ago were nowhere near as big as the crocodiles we see in modern times. In fact, the vast majority of them were about the size of an alligator. However, even though they may not have been the biggest, they were still apex predators of their environment. They would have ruled the rivers and lakes with an iron fist, preying on any unsuspecting animals that got too close. One of the amazing things about these crocodiles is that they show us how crocodilians developed over time. When they first appeared on the scene about 100 million years ago, they were small, only reaching about 6 feet in length. However, by the end of the Cretaceous, there were crocodilians that reached lengths of over 25 feet. But the growth of these creatures wasn't only upward, it was outward as well. Crocodilians today are found all over the world, but during the Cretaceous period, they were only found in the Western Hemisphere. During this time, there was a massive supercontinent called Gondwanaland, which housed all of the crocodilian species in the Southern Hemisphere. But as the Cretaceous progressed and the continents began to drift apart, new species of crocodilian would evolve in the Northern Hemisphere. By the end of the Cretaceous, there were about 24 different species of crocodilian living in North America, whereas there were only about 8 living in the South. So it seems that the northern species of crocodilian were evolving faster and more frequently than those in the South. But why did they evolve so quickly? Well, it could have something to do with the food source. During the Cretaceous, the northern part of the supercontinent was covered in deciduous forests, which meant that there was a lot of vegetation growing there. This provided a lot of food for the crocodiles to eat, which allowed them to grow larger and reproduce more often. Crocodilians are cold-blooded, which means that they rely on the environment to regulate their body temperature. And it seems that the climate of the northern part of the supercontinent was just right for crocodiles. As the Cretaceous progressed, the climate began to change, and the northern part of the supercontinent became more arid. This, along with the end of the Cretaceous Pelagian extinction event, led to the extinction of almost all crocodilian species in North America. Today, only one species of crocodilian remains in North America, the American alligator. Maybe if we keep searching, we'll find other species from the late Cretaceous. Maybe we'll even find one that resembles the ancient crocodiles we saw today. Regardless of what we find, one thing is for sure. Crocodiles have been around for a very long time, and they will continue to be around for a very long time. So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more paleologic.